Well, here we are back for another week. It's been eventful as always. Been very eventful. I've spent most of this week basically preparing to go back to Perth, sorting out bits and pieces here and there. Now that the decision's been made, it's primarily about what am I going to do with the next 3 months. I've also had lovely Ailey visiting over from Holland. I met Ailey at Redhead Day about 6, 7 weeks ago, and she came over here for the last 3 days to visit, which has been lovely. Um, and we've had a few other bits and pieces happening this week. With Dragon X has gone and connected up with the ISS, so that's been very exciting to watch. For everyone else, the one that you've undoubtedly seen all over the news has been Felix Baumgarter jumping from 127,000 feet, or just shy of 39 kilometres up, for Red Bull Stratos, and been watching that with, yeah, fairly seriously watching that. I watched it for about 6 hours on Tuesday when they aborted the launch, and then obviously last night it all went ahead and the man jumped, and it was quite incredible to watch. I sat up for about 2 hours or so watching it. Ailey had a bit of a nap, and then she came and joined for the last 20 minutes or so when he actually reached height and then jumped out. And yeah, it was pretty incredible to watch. I don't think it quite compares with man landing on the moon, but it certainly felt of a similar sort of magnitude for me anyway, to be able to see something like that. So the other bit of news that's come out, which is probably why I'm not quite as bouncy as I usually am at the moment, is after all the weeks of all the planning and finally sort of making a decision as to what to do and that sort of stuff, and the stress from the previous weeks regarding trying to find a job, I've just received an email from Surrey Satellites, who I applied to weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and replied back to me a couple of weeks ago saying, thanks for the interest, but the position's already been filled, working as a lab technician building satellites. I don't know if I've covered it before, but Surrey Satellites are actually the guys who are going to be constructing the communication satellite for Mars 1. And when I found out about that, I found out that they were in Surrey, they weren't far away. I applied for a job which I thought I'd be perfect for, and they turned me down. They've now emailed me back again saying that they're going to be in contact regarding the position. So I've already made the decision not to take it, which there's a lot of things going for it. There's a lot of reasons to stay here in the UK and work and be with the friends that I've got over here and that side of things. There's also a lot of reasons to go back to Australia, and I've decided that going back to Australia is the best bet, as confusing and frustrating as it is. um, there's two things that have essentially pushed me, and they've both happened in the last 24 hours. Ailey and I watched Felix jump from 127,000 feet, and after that, we'd been talking about watching Contact for the last 2 days, and I finally sat her down and made her watch Contact. And after watching how I responded to Felix jumping, and then seeing me watching Contact as well, she turned around at the end and said that she knew this is what I was supposed to do, which really hit home. Really hit home. And the other was from Felix himself. The last things he said before he stepped off into the abyss, which was, I'm coming home now. And in many ways, they both sum up exactly where I sit at the moment. I am coming home now. I'm coming back to Australia. I'm coming back to the familiarity and the security, I suppose, for a little while before I go off on the next adventure, which is going even further south down to Antarctica. And the reason why I want to do that is because it's one of the things I'm meant to do. As great as working over here in a satellite factory, manufacturing satellites and being so close and being involved with that side of things, it's not the same. It's not. That's being part of the support crew, one of the camera operators watching as someone else goes up in that capsule to step off out of it with a parachute strapped to their back from 39 kilometres up. That's not being the guy that steps off, and ultimately that's the person that I am. I want to be involved. I want to be, and I'll be involved in any shape or form that I can. But given the opportunity, I'll take the one where I can be involved more, and I can be the one stepping out there. And that means for me going to Antarctica. It means going out and having that experience, rather than helping someone else and being part of an industry that supports that, being the one doing it. So ultimately, that's what it boils down to. As bizarre as it all seems, being offered the opportunity, which I was desperate for a couple of weeks ago, it's made it a fairly confusing few hours, but the decision was made within 30 seconds. I got the email, went, holy crap, and went, no, this is what I need to do. So it's, as always, it's a wild ride. Next week, we've got plenty more planned. There's more going ahead, obviously pushing through with all of this. The decision's been made. I am completely fucking committed to it now. Now that I've had my resolve tested, I'm completely committed to it. So I'll probably be broadcasting the next video from back in Stroud, back there where I'll be getting ready to start writing this book on Mars, which I'll be spending the month of November writing. I'll be utilising NaNoWriMo, even though it's not a novel. I'll be utilising the targets and the goals of NaNoWriMo to write a 50,000 word book in a month, and I reckon I can do it. So I'll speak to you from Stroud next week.